As speaking of, okay, there we go. Everybody's coming in. Um, so those are your just curious minds. We were in the back and talking about because I want to say something about Adriana Trigiani. Trigiani. I've got to hear how she pronounces her last name
I
because she
know.
does
Every
pronounce
time
it.
I say it, I'm not sure.
I know I'm saying it wrong, but we adore her. She is just and her new book is called The View from Lake Como. Um, I didn't read this one, but I read the previous one. She just writes a great family story.
Absolutely.
They're always well. Her characters, you can see them, you can feel they're just really good characters. So yeah, View from
And
Lake
and
Como.
and the I we don't have the cover to show you, but the title of View from Lake Como, and then that cover showing Lake Como. Who wouldn't want to dive in?
Especially in the summer. So
Yeah.
I haven't read it, but knowing how she writes and the stories that she writes, I would guess that this is another solid Adriana Trigiani book. And
Absolutely.
I think it's a hard G. Anyways, so that's that. So, hi, look at it. We're all here today. Yay. So lots of good books. I read another book that's coming out in like April of next year, but it's really good. It's called Five, I think is the title of it. So five people are on a train station in England, and they're none of them are good. One of them's going to die. You know that right from the get-go. Somebody's dying at this train station, right? And you just get into these five people's lives that none of them are good people. Let's just say that. And so you're kind of like, maybe you're not rooting for certain ones to die, but maybe you are,
But
That's
maybe you're
good.
not sad
That,
if they're the ones that turn out to
but you're
die.
kind of not sad. But what
wow,
I
that's
love about it
a great
is, and
premise.
it's a great premise. What I kind of love about it too is, and I don't usually I don't like sticky things in a book as far as like, but this one the author directly talks to the reader at different points in the book. And it's like, so now you know all of who the characters are, so it's just, so which one, do you remember so and so? I mean, so it was very clever. It just like, it was just one of those page turning kind of books. I thought it was very good. So we'll look for that in April of next year. Hopefully we'll still be doing this
We'll remember.
and we will be talking about it in April of next year. I think it's April. Um, all right. So it's going to go Tom, Julia, Andrea. So without further, let's just jump right in and get to some books.
All right. Well, I'm gonna first start off with some further ado because just to point out, the New York Times did their best books of the year in the first half or so far, which I love all lists. Marriage at Sea was there, so I was very happy to see that.
You heard it here first.
Exactly, a couple weeks ago. And so okay, my book. My book is Pan by Michael Clune.
Love the
This is
cover.
out tomorrow. Yeah, it's an incredible cover. It's a rare. I feel like it's rare. You can correct me, Julie, but I feel like
You know I
it's
will, Tom.
exactly. It's rare that there's a book we publish and that I'm talking about that is I'm almost at a loss for words. I barely know how to describe it, but that's what we have here. So I'll give you like the plot. It's not a plotty book, but it's about a character named Nicholas. He's 15 years old. He's in school one day in a Chicago suburb when he forgets how to breathe. And for all sorts of obvious reasons, he starts to panic. Um, he suddenly realizes that his hands are objects, and so he goes to the doctor. Doctor says, "Don't worry, it's just panic." But he he enters psychiatric care. He starts to believe that the Greek god Pan is trapped inside his body. So that's the plot, such as it is. He has friends, so it's a coming of age novel. That's what it is, but it doesn't have the payoffs that other coming of age novels have, but it's really looking deeply inside an adolescent and what it kind of feels like to be in that body. And we've all been there. We can't help but have been there. Um, so it's a fascinating book. And I had never heard of him until we bought this book. But he is a Guggenheim Fellow, a literary scholar. He teaches in the Midwest, and he's the author of a he had I guess he had a heroin addiction because there was a memoir of heroin addiction called Whiteout, which is was one of the New Yorker's best books of that year, and it has developed a cult following. He's developed a following among, he's like a writer's writer. So up until now, so other writers look to him and they're like, how does he do it? How does he do these sentences? So we have quotes from like everybody, like Paul Murray, author of The Bee Sting, says, a true original, a new Michael Clune book is a cause for celebration. Lauren Groff calls this book mind-bending, psychologically bending, really thrilling. Kaveh Akbar reviewed it in the New York Times yesterday, and he says, like a great painter, Clune can show us the mind, the world, with just a few well-placed verbs. Um, he gives a quote. He said, I could have read 300 pages of just this, Nicholas looking out the window and describing what he saw, and felt that I'd gotten my money's worth. So it's cool. I mean, this is a writer that none of us have heard of, probably. Um, but I think he's a writer that we're going to be hearing more from. This is his first work of fiction. There was Whiteout, which was the memoir of addiction. He did another nonfiction book. But as I say, the reviews all ran, like reviewers also it could not wait to review it. Like they all ran over the weekend. They couldn't wait to write their reviews. So like Boston Globe says, Pan refuses to be one thing or the other. Clune doesn't choose between what we might describe as the poetic and the novelistic, the mystic and the naturalistic explanations of Nick's experience. When it comes to time and consciousness, Clune's perennial topics, visionary perception is perhaps just a deeper form of realism. So I think it's not like any other book any of us have read. I think I can say that. And that's what I felt reading it a while back. So Michael Clune's Pan. It's so cool to have a book that is just like none other.
Undefinable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who's the publisher?
It's Penguin Press.
Penguin Press. Okay.
So they do a wide range of books. They do Ron Chernow's Mark Twain, and they do Pan.
Right. I mean, and not that to define it, but it's when you were describing it, little bit, was thinking a little bit of David Mitchell-ish.
Oh, maybe so. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, yeah. As I was trying to think of comparisons, and I couldn't come up with them. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, and I think I don't know, having not read it, but it's like I'm wondering if that's sort of the vein that he's in a little bit.
I think so.
He might just be singular, though. There are things that
I love the idea of getting inside this character's brain, body, through the writing in a way that is no satisfying. I don't think there are satisfying payoffs for people that you might get in other books, but it's just learning about what he's able to do to inhabit Nick is incredible.
You're just on the ride.
Yeah.
Just go on the journey and enjoy it. Yeah, I love it. I love the cover. That alone. Okay, Julia.
Okay.
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. So my first book is one I am very excited about. It is Salt Bones by Jennifer Given, which Julie, I'm sure will chime in at some point.
I'm like,
I know, but look at that cover. It's so good. So the thing, it was funny when I started selling this book, all my California stores, I would just say like, well, it takes place in the Salton Sea. And then everyone immediately was like, now what? I think we need this. Because I think any Californian, particularly Southern Californian, knows that the Salton Sea is weird. And it's like
that's an understatement.
An understatement. But like the places around it, Bombay Beach, the slabs, Salvation Mountain, like it's like weird. And I feel like people who aren't from here or don't know it, like maybe don't have as close of a grasp on just how weird it is. So that sort of like vibe lends itself to this book. You can see it's gotten starred reviews here in Publishers Weekly and Library Journal. And what this book is it's kind of a thriller, but it's also magical realism. It's sort of, it's sort of like in that same vein of like Mexican Gothic, where like you're playing with a lot of different genres, but basically about a girl who goes missing in the Salton Sea area, and um the woman who sort of starts to look for her, and she starts seeing visions of um this sort of scepter haunting her. It is a horse-headed woman that she sees visions of, which is a local legend. So it's got like this, indigenous Chicana sort of vibe to it. It is about this woman ostensibly looking for this girl, but it sort of goes out from there. Excuse me. Like I said, it's a bit thriller, it's a bit magical realism. It's very literary. Like I thought the writing was very good. And sort of not the kind of book I normally pick up, but because it was about the Salton Sea, I was like, I gotta read this. And I thought it was phenomenal, a fabulous book. And so yeah, it's Saltbones, and it's out tomorrow.
I haven't. I like that was one that I like skimmed through just like the first few pages of over the weekend. Um, does it have a little bit of cross-border stuff going on?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely is like set in the borderlands, right?
Okay.
Because of course that part of San Bernardino County is butts up,
Right.
you're at certain points you get close to the border.
The border, yeah, down there,
and
yeah.
you're in the desert, sort of where there's a lot of sort of border issues.
Right, right, okay, yeah.
So
yeah.
so that is all a part of the book, and all of that sort of together is what the sort of vibe that you're dealing with in the book while this woman looks for this girl, and it's sort of unclear as you're reading it whether or not she is like having a mental breakdown and hallucinating, or if she's having visions of like seeing what has happened.
Right.
So
no, but you are so right. Because remember, Julia, I like saw this thing and I was like, Salton Sea, I gotta read this. I was just like, I mean, so Beth is Beth. I see that you learned about the Salton Sea last year or two, and it's on your place to visit. Let's rethink that a little bit.
But is it really on the list?
Yeah, let's rethink the visiting a little bit.
I love going. I like to go take pictures out there. It's like such a weird place. And like Bombay Beach, like
yeah,
there's so much art. And also
but it's almost
dilapidated buildings.
Because it's almost otherworldly. I mean, it really is. It's really, I mean,
is that where the what's it called? It's like a guy who built
Salvation Mountain.
Yes.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yes.
Like crazy fascinating.
It is. So if you don't know, the Salton Sea is like it actually at one point they thought it was going to be like the next like Palm Springs, Hollywood was going there. They were building along the lake and the whole 9 yards. Well, then the lake died.
Well, it's not a real lake. It's
right.
It's not even, I mean, it is technically a man-made lake. It's a lake that was made by an accident. And it was made by an agricultural runoff accident.
Right.
So it's not supposed to be there. And so
but it stayed there. But
it stayed there. That like basically so much water flooded this area that it is now a lake.
Right.
And
but it's a dead lake.
It's like so high, it's so polluted that like dead fish are constantly. I mean, the smell when you get near the lake is
you're hitting there. Yeah, you're hitting there because of this gaseous smell.
Right. So I can't tell if that is a place you want to start hallucinating or a place you don't want to start hallucinating.
Or does the place make you hallucinate?
or possibly, yes.
So it's kind of, if you're in the mood for California weird, head to the Salton Sea. If you're looking for a touristy destination, might want to just look at some pictures.
Palm Springs is not too far away, so you could.
You could do. Yeah, you could. You could do a day trip.
Well, afternoon. Yeah,
A little
exactly.
afternoon, go down. I'm not sure I'd stay there. Just, I don't know. I mean, hopefully
Last
no
time
one
I
from the
was
Salton Sea is watching this and listening to me bash their.
last time I was there, I went to the Banana Museum, which is outside of it. Highly recommend. Totally bananas. No pun intended, but accidentally pun intended. And they have great banana shakes. So
Okay, well,
that
there
might
you
be
go.
something to get,
You can get date shakes there too. So
Yeah,
of
there's
course.
nothing better than a date shake, actually.
That's
So
true.
there is that. All right. Well, enough of this also, but it is truly a fascinating place. Though we're talking about singular things. It is a singular place.
a place,
Absolutely.
place out of time,
Yeah,
indeed.
absolutely a singular place. So, anywho, all right, Andrea, what do you got?
Transporting you to New Zealand. This is the third crime thriller by Michael Bennett. It's a Hannah Westerman thriller, Carved in Blood. Happy to see Michael back with another in this series. Hannah Westerman is a Maori detective. And this book, the thing that I love about these books and this series in general is that because Michael Bennett is part Maori and he's very well versed and steeped in the culture, he just naturally writes in elements of the culture seamlessly. So it's nice to learn a little bit about Maori culture and history while you're reading a really amazingly paced and plotted crime thriller. In this one, Hannah Westerman becomes embroiled in a case where the danger gets ever closer to her, in that her ex-husband, also a cop, stops off at a liquor store to get a bottle of champagne to celebrate their daughter's impending nuptials, and he's gunned down by a guy in a baklava and balaclava baklava. I guess I'm hungry. I guess I'm hungry for some sweets.
I love that.
Okay, that is hilarious. Anyway, um, and so Hannah asked to be put on the case, even though that is completely against like protocol because she was married to him and it's a family matter. But she quickly determines that a car that was left near the scene that has a phone in it from a young Maori, who is, of course, then the prime suspect. She quickly realizes that this was a setup, and that they wanted whoever did this really did the killing is it wanted them to find this car. And so and then on goes the as I say great pacing and plotting until we find out who actually did the dirty deed. And it's like I also love this series because the family dynamics are plotted out so nicely. It just feels very natural and just like a dysfunctional family would be when the both principals are cops, and with a I guess their daughter has a lot of trans friends, but I think that she goes by she still. But so there's a lot going on. It's like all contemporary New Zealand, but also the history. It's so richly steeped in the history of the Maori people, the wonderful like indigenous people who have populated both islands of New Zealand for tens of thousands of years. So there you go. Carved in Blood. It's $27. This is from the Atlantic Monthly Press, and this will be considered their new Atlantic Crime imprint. So a lot of good stuff happening around that as we move into the fall.
Love it. And okay, so this is like so bizarre because I was watching the chat and Beth was on there saying that she had just read Michael Bennett book, and I was just like, wait a minute, and your thing came up, I was like, and the timing, I was like, how did Beth see that she was going to talk about? I was just like, the timing was just twisting my brain around that Beth was talking about his previous book. So timing was something on that one.
That's very cool. Well, and you know, it's the time. I think I just really do think if you haven't read a mystery or a espionage or crime thriller, summer's the best time to do it. Just
Yep.
like jump right
They're
back.
great. Yep. And Kim's excited about it. So yes, we've got lots of Michael Bennett fans out there. So that's
Yeah,
really a
no,
cool thing.
yeah, like he's great. And I forgot to mention that the artwork, that really the signature look of that artwork
Hmm.
was done by Michael Bennett's daughter, who's quite a talent, clearly. So
Yeah. Love it. So Lori's on here. And Lori, yes, we did a virtual event with Rachel Joyce on Saturday. And I think we talked about it last week. And it was one of the best interviews. If you get a chance, it's on our YouTube channel. I think I threw it on our Facebook channel to look at or to see there. She's lovely. And it was a great, we do. Rachel McMillan is an author that we've worked with since the pandemic. She's been doing interviews with us. Just a really great interview. Great insights into the book. Rachel Joyce, Pilgrimage of Harold Fry, still one of my favorite books. So yeah, Handmade God sounds really, I haven't read that particular one, but it's definitely on the list. So, and if you have a chance and you want to listen to a good interview, I thought that was pretty good too. All right, Tom,
All
what's
right.
next?
My next book is Midnight on the Potomac, the last year of the Civil War, the Lincoln assassination, and the rebirth of America. So Scott Ellsworth is a historian, but also I just feel like he's a really good writer, very clear writer of history. So he's a popular historian. The second book we've done, his first book with us was called The Groundbreaking, which was about the Tulsa Race Massacre, and he's from Tulsa. And that got incredible reviews. It was on the long list for the National Book Award. So I was excited when this came along. So Midnight on the Potomac. So it's about a story that we're obviously all very familiar with, but it's become kind of over time we've forgotten details, we've told ourselves stories, and so he's like clearing away the cobwebs and telling you the story of John Wilkes Booth, not some second-rate actor who did this just one day decided. Right. It's about the lead up to the assassination and the Confederate, like the 10 months before. The Confederacy was basically there was like a war of terror on the North. There were all the things. I mean, some of these things I knew, some I didn't. They set buildings on fire, derailed trains, tried to spread smallpox, undermines public support for the Union Army. So all of these kinds of things, like I feel like that's like it's like disinformation. It's like the early days, but like and there was a Confederate plot that John Wilkes Booth was in cahoots with to assassinate Lincoln. So the book is timely in a way because it's I mean, I hate to say every book of history is now today.
Are we repeating ourselves?
Am I right? Am I right? I mean, it's crazy to be reading these books and you think, oh yeah, that tick, check, 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 check. But anyway,
maybe some people aren't reading books as part of the problem.
I know,
Did
that's
I
true.
say that out loud? Sorry.
You did, yeah. And you're exactly right. But it's not long. It's just if you want to refresh your memory or learn things you never knew about what led John Wilkes Booth and to Ford's Theater and Abraham Lincoln to that moment that changed our history. This is a really good addition because I always ask whenever because we always have a new Lincoln book somewhere on our what's the reason for this? Give me a good reason. But and I felt like this delivered. This delivered the read and as I say, cobwebs that have come along, like cleared things out. It's very clear telling of the story, very compelling. Midnight on the Potomac.
Not that it's the same, but it almost reminds me of why people need to read The Bard because it's the
Yeah,
same
yeah,
sort
yeah,
of
exactly. Right. Yeah,
We have this idea of what that was, but leading up to it and why it actually happened is what the crux of the problem is.
exactly. Well, and then Midnight on the Potomac also. The title alone gives us re contemporary resonance. Like, yeah, yeah, it is Midnight on the Potomac still.
Yeah, yeah, it is still unfortunately. But yeah, no, sounds like a good one.
Yeah,
Love
it's
it. And
good.
who's the author again on that one?
Scott Ellsworth.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Thank you. All right, Julia, what you got next?
Okay, my next book is called First Time Long Time by Amy Silverberg. This is the book that
I
will
love
make
that
you,
cover.
isn't that a great cover?
Yes.
It's the book that will make you remember that you do not want to be in your 20s ever again. It is this is a debut novel. It is I read it and was like on the ground at some point laughing. It is so funny. It's like it's touching and heartwarming in certain places, but like definitely is like, oh right, being in your 20s is a nightmare. And it's it's like it's really all about this woman who like cannot get it together. She's a total mess. And I love a messy woman, and I love a messy woman in fiction. I love when we allow women to be messy. And so she like, you know, I mean, like there are like I said, there are touching and poignant moments. So her brother dies, which is unexpectedly, which is very, it sort of put like sends her down this path. And she moves to Los Angeles for a fresh start. And then she like gets involved with an older man. She's sort of involved with all the like this music scene that she's like sort of involved with, but not really. And she is just like making big mess decisions, which, when we're sad, we often do. And so there's like a dose of reality in it, but also a dose of sort of satire. There's a dose of like coming of age. It's somewhat of a millennial novel, but I think like if you have ever been in your 20s or if you have ever been a mess in life, and who amongst us hasn't, it is so relatable. And just like it's one of those like a smart people beach read kind of
Yeah.
book. It's like it's going to keep you hooked the whole time. You don't want to put it down. But it has something to say, and it's really a delight. So
I love it. And yeah, I mean, yeah, nobody wants to nobody wants to
no,
relive things, but makes us who we are, right?
it does. And like it's so funny because my friends and I have this thing where we're like, we'll be like, oh man, I miss when I could do this. And then we'll like check each other and be like, do you remember what we were like?
Well, Dee's on here. The cover reminds her of being in her 20s, especially on Monday. After she calls it a drama weekend, I call it, but maybe another word with a D.
Mhm.
That it's like, oh, what did I do?
Yeah,
What
exactly.
did I really do that? Oh
Yeah,
no!
D, I
Oh
love Drama Weekend. That's a
yeah,
that's a great that's a great name for it.
it's a great day.
Yeah.
Oh no, sounds really good.
Yeah,
All righty,
it's
sounds
great.
like you said, sounds like a really like that summer read.
Yeah.
Good summer read. Okay, Andrea, what do you have for us?
I had a drama decade. It wasn't just a weekend. I have scars. I am lucky to be here.
I love it. Good scars, right?
I would really I'm very excited to talk about this book, Sakina's Kiss by Vivek Shanbhag. This is a McNally Editions title. Now they usually do reissues of modern day classics that should have never gone out of print, but this is a original. This is the second novel by this author that is basically being hailed as the Indian Chekhov. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah. And so we're very excited to have this one. The first book was let me see here in my notes. Gachar Gokar, and that was from a different publisher, which did really well in the indies. A lot of indies did well with that, and it was like acclaimed across the board. Great. The kind of reviews that like everybody, all authors would be very proud to have, but for a debut novel, like it's like off the charts. So, and this novel revolves around tensions in marriage and extended families, but it also covers the political tensions of modern day India, especially revolving around the rise of the Hindu right, and the separatist, nationalist, and notions found therein. Which there seems to be a through line where this is happening all over the world, and it's pretty rough right now what's happening in India. And then let me see. Okay. This is such a great quote from Muhammad Hanif. Not since Kafka. Okay, so Chekhov and Kafka. Not since Kafka has a writer created such terror and tenderness on the same page. Vivek is probably the best writer writing in any language anywhere. If you read one book from India, read Sakina's Kiss. If you want to read one novel from anywhere in the world, read Sakina's Kiss. That is highfalutin praise for this. We're excited about it. $19 trade paper, and those are handsome French flap editions, and that's a easy to pick up, especially with that kind of praise. So we're excited to have that in our bags. We love McNally, and can't wait to talk about another book that's publishing in early August from them, which is my favorite novel of the year.
Wow, that's some high praise there.
Yeah.
Gonna have to give me a clue on who that is behind the scenes. Nancy Warwick, Amanda just put Nancy because Amanda updates our staff pages, and Nancy just put Sakina's Kiss on her recommend list today.
Awesome. Yeah. I sent a galley her way. So it's good to hear.
And she read it, and she obviously likes it because it's going on her list. So, and Nancy has really a wide breadth of things that she likes.
Totally
and
eclectic,
very eclectic
reader for sure.
And very, very thorough and decided. So it's when she likes something, it's really a good one.
Yeah, she's a peacemaker for sure.
That's for sure. All right. Okay, we're in lightning round.
Okay. Well, so messy heroines. Julia was talking about messy heroines. So nobody was messier last year than Jane from Colored Television.
Oh.
This is the hardcover, but it's out in paper. It came out in paper last week. So I have to call out Colored Television. Danzy Senna's brilliant, hilarious look at a Jane who is a budding She's a budding novelist. She is a novelist, but struggling. She's struggling in every aspect of her life, I would say. She enters the world of Hollywood. Things go crazy. It's funny, it's smart. I mean, line by line. I mean, and there's no funnier author in person, and I think on the page than Danzy Senna. And it's just so exciting she's been publishing for a long time, but finally she had the breakthrough that we hope she'd have with Colored Television. It happened. And now, great to have it in paperback for anyone who missed it in hardcover. And also, so it's a send up of so many things. Hollywood, for one thing, what it means to be a woman of color in this world. Very much about that, class, race, but all with the lightest of touches, super entertaining. I mean, she takes a long time in between books, so I don't know when we're going to get another book from Danzy, but I cannot wait. And of course, it's set in what she calls the multicultural Mayberry, but is actually my town of South Pasadena. And it is, the multicultural Mayberry is exactly right, and both the best of that and the worst of that all in one. She captures it like nobody ever has. So, Colored Television in paperback.
I love it. And Dee's on here. She read it, loved it. And Denzi, I can say by sitting next to her at a dinner, I've never laughed so much. We laughed so hard. She's hilarious.
Yeah,
hilarious.
She's the best.
And color television, Jane just makes some really bad choices.
Yes, she does.
Oh, some bad
Yeah.
choices. Lori's on here, Andrea, talking about culpability. Wasn't it so good?
Yeah.
Um, it's
Oh,
such a
that's so exciting. I just saw that. Yeah.
yeah.
I'm sorry, I had my chat minimized, so I didn't see this.
All the fun stuff people are talking about. The chat's
No,
fun.
I'm so happy that you liked Culpability. It really is a page turner.
Yeah,
And
he actually came in the store over the weekend and signed some
yeah,
copies
I
for us.
saw
So
that.
yeah,
some
so
copies. He's making the rounds in SoCal, doing some full signings and then signing stock for other stores, and then he'll be back around in October.
yeah, he'll be with us in October. So but anyways, yeah, no, it's and culpability is one of those books that it's like you have to mention AI, but I don't want people to think that it's like a sci-fi book because it's not at all.
And
It
it's
is
not
a
like that theory book either. It's
right,
sometimes novels are like theory books,
right.
like or a philosophy book disguised
No,
as fiction.
yeah. This
That's
is
all.
just one of those very timely books, a family drama, how AI can impact all of us in a way that is you're doing your normal life.
Yeah. And I think and like the discussion about AI and just like the chilling effects of AI on this family drama
Yeah,
is so seamlessly and beautifully done. How many times have I said seamless?
I
At least
love it.
I haven't said magisterial while talking about
Yeah,
it. The day is young. I still have
Judith
one
just
more.
read it too. It's really good. We've got. I think it's the book of. I think it's one of those just like timely books of the summer. So, all right, Julia, what you got for us?
Okay, I have a little bit of a fun one, depending on how you look at it. Book for my final choice. So this is from Da Capo Press, which is our great music publisher at Hachette. This is Blood Harmony, the Everly Brothers story. So I like to say, if you are around my age and grew up with Oasis, man, are you like those are two brothers that hate each other, and man, are you in for a story with the Everly Brothers?
Really?
Oh boy.
Oh, as soon as you said Oasis, it's like, okay, who could be worse than those guys?
The Everly Brothers. That's it. So I'm sure many of you know the Everly Brothers. You Lost That Love and Feeling, Unchained Melody, wonderful singers and musicians. But they had quite a tempestuous and tumultuous relationship as brothers. And they came from sort of rural Kentucky, and were some of the first music superstars. And this is just a great sort of book about their relationship, about the music that they made, how important it was, but also about a lot of their demons. And so if you, like me, love a juicy music bio, this one is very juicy and very good. It's very fun to read.
Oh,
So
I mean, as soon as I was cracking up because it's like Oasis was like, I mean, where's the popcorn?
yeah, and like Da Capo has sort of like taken a few years off ish. I mean, not totally off, but they haven't been as focused on publishing, and this year they're coming back with a vengeance in a good way.
A strong lineup.
Yeah, and I'm a huge I'm a trained musician and I'm a huge music fan, and so I have to just say, like, just get ready because we've got some great music books coming from Da Capo. Yeah,
That's
I
exciting.
cannot wait.
And
Yeah.
I feel like the Everly Brothers story, I mean, I know the Everly Brothers, but I don't know the story. It's must be undertold. So this is like the perfect time. Tell the story.
It's very undertold. Yeah. Yes,
Yeah.
I am.
Some really good publicists that kept that quiet for years and years.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, like, honestly, like it could be a movie. It could be a phenomenal movie.
Oh, I love every bit of this. It's so great. Oh my goodness. Okay, there's some good stuff in the chat going on about it too. So I love it.
Yeah.
All right, Andrea, wrap us up here.
Okay. This is a paperback conversion from a book that sold very well for Europa editions in hardcover. It's called The Throne. It's the first book in the Machiavelli trilogy. And you're probably like, what? Like, really? But
It's so good.
is very good, and I love what they've done with the paperback cover. And this is like if you want like a juicy book full of intrigue, and just the dramatic tension in this novel. This would be great for book groups that will do historical novels for sure. And 1995 trade paperback. I think that's a darn good price for this. And perfect again for, a little bit of a meteor summer beach read for sure. It's like think the Italian Wolf Hall. That's basically what this is, because the
Exactly.
characters are like so vividly told and developed. And I'm glad that you're a fan. I remember that now, Julie. So if you want to say something, go to it. I just am so happy to see this in trade paper because it's going to sell for a long time, I think.
Yeah, and I think your description calling it the Wolf Hall, the Italian Wolf Hall, is a perfect description of it because it's just if that's the kind of historical fiction that you like that goes in that, it's so good. It's so good. And Kim's on here because she's asking the question that I want to know too. It's like, when's the next one coming? But we might need some cliff notes to remember that it's like, oh, I'm gonna. That's what I did
Right.
with trilogies.
Previously on. You need a previously on.
I need a previously. I do.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I can talk to the good folks at Europa, but because it is in translation from the Italian, it does take a bit longer, and especially because these books, they're not, I mean, they're dense. So
Yeah.
not like,
I'm hoping next year.
one in 6 weeks. That ain't happening. This
No.
it's
But I'm
so
hoping next year because I like every 2 years I think we can handle. If it's more than that, I will definitely forget.
Will Machiavelli be dashed upon the jagged rocks below? Find out in book 2.
Tune in.
How do you say chunky in Italian? I love it. Okay, let's see. What was I looking at?
You guys are cracking me up. Thank you.
I know, it's a good one.
I needed some laughter. Thank you.
It was a good, lots of good books today. And another one that Tom, I don't know, did you talk about Everyone Is Lying to You? I can't remember if you did or not, the Joe Piazza.
No,
Okay.
I didn't. But I know that you and I talked about her and
We talked about it, and we just hosted her on Friday. She, number one, love her as a person and an author. It's just like she's amazing. But she wrote a book called Everyone Is Lying to You, and it's all about the trad wife influencers who maybe aren't actually telling you the truth. Sounds like a perfect summer read. And just I think she might take a little bit of a scalpel as that. So
Right.
might be really
that was I didn't know that much about the trad wife world until I learned about this book. Yeah.
Yeah, and she actually has she's obviously she's very prolific on social media, and she does a so when she was reaching out to her fans doing trad wife costume contests, so some of these women were coming dressed as trad wives, which was just pretty funny. So she's just like, oh my God. So I think she did a little bit of a kind of love it. So anywho, we have 0 events this week. I don't know what, I must have been like shirking my duties here as the event director. So not much to
You
talk
need to
about.
take a breath, Julie. So this is the week when you
This
get
is this is the breath, because let me tell you what, October's coming with a vengeance. And if I still have staff that's speaking to me in November, it'll be a miracle. Because we are going strong and hard in October. Just so many, there's, different years, there's lots of stuff that gets published. There just seems to be so much good stuff that's coming this year. There's just lots of good books. So y'all are lucky. So we will that should be it for us today, and we'll see everybody next Monday. So thanks Reps, for coming in.
Thank you. Thanks for
everyone.
the comments, everybody.
Yep. Bye.